Aston Villa have made a terrible start to the season, not scoring for their first 4 games and only winning 1 out of 6. This sees the Villians sit in 16th position. Villa seem a far cry from the team who entertained in the Champions League last season, and with fans expecting success in the Premier League and Europa League, results need to pick up fast. Villa haven't been helped out by FFP restrictions, however, they have been limited on how much money they could actually spend, so it all seems a little bit gloomy for Villa at the moment. It's time for us to change that, as today we are jumping into FC26, we are taking charge of Aston Villa, we are going to lead the Villians to Champions League glory. There will be a small catch in this rebuild though, boys. We have to keep the transfers as realistic as possible, and if you do enjoy the content, boys, please be sure to subscribe. So this is the Aston Villa team we have loaded into in FC26. It's actually a good team on paper, to be fair. But one thing that immediately sticks out to me is Aston Villa have got a lot of injury issues as we're using the live start points feature, and they also have quite a small squad for Premier League standards. They also do not have a recognised backup striker on their books. However, Gesand can actually play as a striker. You can definitely see how Aston Villa have been hit by FFP sanctions. Now, the best player at the club is Emiliano Martinez at 85 rated, but he is 33-year-old. Will probably start to decline soon. Hasn't seen quite the same player since that huge mistake against Manchester United. We have also got Yuri Tielemans, who's 28-year-old and 85 rated. Fantastic player and one of the best strikers in the Premier League, Ollie Watkins, 29-year-old, 84 rated. He does need to improve in real life though. They need him to start scoring again. Now, Aston Villa start off with a 4-2-3-1 formation, which I don't actually think is too bad. However, I do want to put my own spin on this Aston Villa team. I want to get some more young players in the squad into the starting 11. So we have changed things up with the Aston Villa team, and we are going with a 4-1-4-1 formation, which I think actually gets the best out of our current core group of players, and it allows us to get some younger players in the team like Gesand and Maatsen. And I do think this initial starting 11 is a very good Premier League standard team that should be getting into Europe, at least the Conference League or Europa League. And because this is a realistic transfer only rebuild, boys, that means we cannot make any signings in season 1. We are stuck with the squad that we've got. Now on to how we are going to play, boys. We are going to go with a standard tactical preset, but we are going to be a counter-attacking style, boys. We want to hit teams on the break, and we are going to have quite a deep defensive line at 35 out of 100. I feel like with players like Rodgers, Gesand and Watkins on the pitch, we can definitely do a lot of damage on the break. And these are the player roles we're going to be using, boys. We're going to have Gesand as an inside forward, as he's actually a really good finisher, and we're going to have Maatsen and Cash as attacking wing backs to get into the attacks. If it's not working, boys, we can always go back to the drawing board and change things up. Now, it's a shame we can't make any signings in season 1 because Aston Villa actually have £67 million in the bank, which is a fantastic budget. Now, on this channel, we always use your recommendations when it comes to what nations we should use scouting, and for season 1 we are using this comment. We are going to be scouting Romania, and I think because Emi Martinez is aging, we need to be looking for goalkeepers, because we don't even have a high potential young goalkeeper in our youth academy, but we do have an amazing youngster in here, Eric Ronning, a Norwegian left winger, 80 to 94 potential, 17-year-old. We're going to promote him to the senior team and get him out on loan this season. So with no transfers being allowed in season 1, our starting 11 will be locked in for the first season. Will we have enough to qualify for Europe? I bloody well hope so. And with that being said, we are now simulating forward straight through to the end of season number 1. Let's see what we are working with in the first season. But we have arrived at the end of season number 1, lads. How have the Villa got on? Well, we have finished 5th in the Premier League on 63 points, which is a fantastic season, it has to be said. Winning 17 of our 38 games, only losing 9 games total, but we were 14 points off the Champions League places, and a 5th place finish ultimately means we are playing Europa League football again in season number 2, or are we? Because we only went and won the Europa League in season 1, boys, beating Nottingham Forest 2-1 in an all-English final, adding a Europa League trophy to the trophy cabinet. And that also means, boys, we are playing Champions League football in season 2, and I would hate to be a Spurs fan at the minute because of the way FC26 is. That means Spurs are in the Europa League instead of us. However, our fantastic performance in the Europa League was not replicated in the English domestic cups. We lost 4-3 in the 4th round of the FA Cup to Derby County in the Championship at home. That is dreadful. And in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup, we lost 2-1 to Liverpool. No real shame in losing to them though. So this is your Europa League winning Aston Villa team, and it's looking fantastic on paper. We do need improvements in season 2 if we're going to be successful in the Champions League. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky for me. As two key players in our starting 11, Emiliano Martinez and John McGinn, are aging and will start to depreciate in overall in season 2, I'm sure of it. However, with John McGinn being 83 rated and Martinez being 86 rated, they are so hard to replace next season. I'm kind of umming and ahhing about what to actually do. Do I replace them both in season 2 or do I let them both stay? I'm not too sure, but one thing I do know, we will be signing a new right back to replace Matty Cash. He's 80 rated, 28-year-old, not really growing too much. He's definitely getting replaced. And we did also convert Amadou Onana to a centre back. He's 24-year-old and 82 rated. He's a fantastic player. So it's a little bit up in the air how we're going to approach the transfer window in season 2. I definitely need a new starting right back and I definitely need a backup striker. Let's see what budget we're working with first and then we'll decide where we go from there. Now at the end of the season we are losing Jadon Sancho. He's going back to Man United. He's been a really good player for us, and the youngster Bradley Burrows is leaving the club. And in real life, Aston Villa have got an obligation to buy Harvey Elliott, so we have done that in FC26. He signs for the club on a permanent deal, 80 rated, 23 years old, can play a multitude of positions, and we've paid 22.5 million for him. Really good signing. We've also loaned out 3 youngsters from our academy. Now we didn't really bang in the goals as well as I thought we would have this season, but we did have some standout performers. Evan Guessand was fantastic, getting 17 goals and 5 assists. Daniel Marlon was amazing as well, getting 15 goals from the bench. He mainly played from the bench, boys. But our star player was Super John McGinn, getting 14 goals and 15 assists, and that pretty much sums up to me. He's not getting replaced in season 2. So we have arrived in season number 2, boys, and FFP is well and truly out of the window this season because we have got £182 million in the bank. Obviously, it'd be unrealistic to spend all this money. We won't be spending it all, don't worry. Now, just looking at Martinez's stats, boys, we can probably get another full season out of him before we start to decrease in overall. He will not be getting replaced this season. Our primary focus will be looking to bring a right back and striker into the club and thinning the squad out because we have had a lot of loan players come back to the club who just aren't good enough to play for Aston Villa. And lads, we are just progressing through the transfer window and we have been hit with an unexpected event called sell to buy, which I've actually not seen before. It says bad news for the upcoming season. There is no transfer budget as the club needs to stabilise their financial situation. However, you have the opportunity to create your own budget with the full amount of player sales being put into the budget. Well, boys, now boys, that does leave us with nothing in the bank, but it's a good job we've already done some business, isn't it, in the first day of the window. 3 new signings have been made, 1 first team starter and 2 rotation players. Unfortunately, we have not managed to sign a backup striker. We are looking to sell a few players though, so we might be able to yet. Now on to the 2 rotation players that we signed. The first one was Maxime Esteve of Burnley, who were relegated to the Championship. He is 24-year-old, 78 rated centre-back who's left-footed, really decent potential and actually a good player in FC26. We've signed him to be a left-footed option at the back with a view to him becoming a first-team player in future seasons. Definitely realistic, lads. He will not be playing in the Championship for Burnley next season. And now, lads, we have made a very special signing, which might actually be seen as unrealistic to some people. FFP robbed Aston Villa of Jacob Ramsey, so we have brought him back to Villa Park. He is 25-year-old, 80 rated, really good player. He's been brought in as Sancho's replacement and he will be on the bench for next season. And boys, we brought in a new starting right back for season 2. Oscar Mingueza joins from Celta Vigo for £30 million. 27-year-old, 81 rated right back who can play on both wings as well. Really well balanced stats. Definitely think this is a realistic signing. I think Villa could snatch him from Celta Vigo unless he wanted to stay in Spain. And before the board robbed us of our transfer budget, we have made 3 very good signings. We've not even spent that much money. And I think all 3 of these players do improve our squad. But as we can see, boys, so many players have come back to the club from their loans. We are going to spend a lot of time getting most of these players out on either loans or selling them. Lads, the outgoing list we have got this season is absolutely crazy. So many players have left the club. I'm going to give you a quick run through of the key deals. Costa Nedolojevic has gone to Forest on loan. We've sold a few youngsters who had no chance of playing for us. Redmond and Garcia go out on loan. Bit of a key one, Tyrone Mings has joined Sunderland on a 1-year deal for £4 million. I can actually see this happening in real life. Well, actually, Sunderland don't sign old players, so probably not. A couple of players gone out on loan. Lewis Dobbin goes back to Norwich, where he had a successful loan spell for £2.5 million. Couple more loans. Lindelof to Rangers and Joe Gaucher to Birmingham. I probably shouldn't have accepted this one because that would never happen in real life. And we have also sold Leon Bailey to Bayer Leverkusen for £15 million because he wouldn't accept a new deal. We've actually raised £45 million from them sales, meaning we can bring in a backup striker. I've got someone in mind who I think would be very realistic. And we have managed to bring in a backup striker, boys. This is definitely going to split opinion. Aston Villa have had a really good relationship with Manchester United in the last few seasons, signing the likes of Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho on loan. But we are carrying on this relationship by signing Joshua Zirkzee from United for £29 million. He's 25-year-old, 79 rated, really good stats, 6'4". He's actually a really good player in FC26. It's been a disaster for Xerxes at United, hasn't it? It's not working out for him. I do think he's going to leave United soon, either in January or the end of the season in real life. So we are bringing him to Villa Park, and he's going to be back up to Ollie Watkins going forward. Now, there's barely any change to our starting 11 heading into season number 2. Mingueza comes in for cash. That is it. We still have a really strong team on paper, boys. That is now officially locked in for season 2. Is this team good enough to compete in the Champions League? I definitely think so. We have actually got a really decent bench as well, boys, which you'd expect for a club like Aston Villa. My goal for this season would be Champions League qualification again, which could be tough to get to the Champions League knockout phase. Now, our transfer window is definitely done in terms of incomings. But before we progress on to the end of the season, we have got the small matter of our youth scouting. And for season number 2, we are going with this comment, and we are going to be scouting Senegal. And Eric's comment wants us to look for the next Sadio Mane or Koulibaly, which we are going to be doing. We're looking for left mids and centre backs while we're over in Western Africa. Now, if any big transfer bids do come in, I will let you know. But as of right now, we are simulating forward straight through to the end of the season. Let's see how the Villa get on in season 2. So we have arrived at the end of season 2, and oh my god, we have actually won the Premier League. We finished 1 point clear of second place Tottenham and 2 points clear of third place Arsenal. It was really tight at the top, but Aston Villa are the champions of England. I was not expecting this in season 2. Premier League trophy added to our trophy cabinet. That is insane. However, lads, we only made the 3rd round of the FA Cup and lost the Championship opposition again in Middlesbrough 3-2. How can you win the Premier League then do so poorly in the FA Cup? It doesn't make sense to me. And we would lose to English opposition in the Champions League round of 16 as we beat Liverpool in the second leg 3-2, but ultimately lost a tie 4-3 over 2 legs. And we have also won the UEFA Super Cup, lads, because we beat PSG 3-2 to win one of the most prestigious trophies in world football. That's in case you lose it, then you call it a glorified friendly, and that is a UEFA Super Cup added to the trophy cabinet as well. So this is your Premier League champions for season 2, and the team is looking very, very strong on paper. And McGinn and Martinez just keep on growing. Martinez is 34-year-old, he's now 87 rated. John McGinn is 32 and 86 rated. And genuine question, boys, could John McGinn be one of the best players in FC26? 86 rated, very, very well-rounded stats, can play all across midfield, left back and attacking midfield as well, and he's still growing at 32-year-old. He has been an absolute monster in this rebuild so far. And that hits me with a question: where do I improve this team in season number 3? How can I improve a team that wins the Premier League? Because even the bench is stacked, lads, and even the reserves are full of good players. I think I'm at a point where I'm just like, what do I do? Well, while I do like Onana and Konza at the back, I feel like we are lacking a real world-class centre-back. So a left-footed 85 plus rated centre-back is on the cards, and then we will probably just monitor the outgoings, see if any bids come in for our star players, because we could yet lose some players who might need replacing. Yeah, this is a really nice problem to have, not knowing where to improve your team. And at the end of the season, lads, we are losing 5 players: Ross Barkley, Kerr Smith, Marco Bizot, Finlay Munro and Tommy O'Reilly. All of their contracts are expiring. And in terms of stats this season, Ollie Watkins was back in perfect form, getting 22 goals and 2 assists. He was our best player this season, and the goals were really nicely shared out amongst the squad this season as well, which we love to see. So we have arrived in season number 3, boys, and we have got £186 million in the bank. We will be bringing in a world-class centre-back, but will that be the only business we do this summer? Who knows? So, boys, we have managed to sign a centre-back. I think we have managed to make a realistic signing, and it's a bloody good signing at that. We have signed Murillo from RB Leipzig, £65 million. He is 24-year-old, 85 rated, unbelievable defender. Then passing stats should be a lot higher, by the way. Left-footed, which is the all-important factor. Was an absolute beast for Nottingham Forest in real life. Earned a move to Germany. Now he's earned a move to the Premier League champions. I do think this is a realistic signing. I think the Premier League champions would be able to sign Murillo, leaving us with £114 million in the bank. And to be honest with you, lads, my head is fried. I don't have a clue what to do with this money. We're just going to simulate forward a little bit, see if any bids come in for our star players and see if they need replacing. And while we've been simulating forward, boys, a film crew has contacted us. They want to make a documentary on the Premier League champions Aston Villa, and we are going to approve. And lads, it's a good job we put our money to one side, as we have had a bid come in for Ollie Watkins from Arsenal for £51.7 million. Given the fact that Watkins was open to leaving in real life, I do think Watkins would want this move, so we are reluctantly going to have to accept. Juventus have also made a bid for Daniel Marlon. I think this would be a good move for him as well, so we're unfortunately going to have to accept both bids, and we're going to have to replace Marlon on the bench and Watkins up front. So Ollie Watkins has now joined Arsenal for £51 million, boys. He's been a great servant to Aston Villa, helped us win a Premier League, goals with our best wishes. And Daniel Merlin has also joined Juventus. He's also been a great player for us in FC26, not so sure about real life. And we've acted swiftly to bring in Ollie Watkins' replacement, and I actually think we've managed to keep this signing really realistic, as we have signed Liam Delap from Chelsea for £50 million. 83 rated, 24-year-old, 6'1" striker with amazing stats, good dribbler and good finisher with good pace and good physical strength. Signed by Chelsea in real life, he is already like third choice striker there. He will probably definitely leave Chelsea within 12 months. I think in terms of FC26, this is a very realistic signing for the Premier League champions. I think he's going to be a beast for us this season. We have also had a few other sales boys. Emiliano Buendia has gone to Turkey for a minimal fee, and DeQuinio Redmond's gone on loan to Italy. Now, because Bizzo retired, boys, we don't actually have a backup goalkeeper at the club. That's going to be our next objective. We need to sign a young goalkeeper who's got potential to replace Martinez when he does start to decline. And we have managed to sign a backup goalkeeper, boys. Noah Atabulu joins us from Freiburg for £25 million. 25-year-old, 81 rated goalkeeper, really good stats. Got good potential as well. I feel like he'll be a really good number 2. So with Murillo and Delap added to our starting 11, as things stand, this will be the Aston Villa team to take us into season 3. What an excellent team this is on paper. Can we defend our Premier League title though? Only time will tell. And just to show how good our squad depth actually is going into season 3, this is our second starting 11, and I genuinely think a full squad of rotation players that we've got here could qualify for the Champions League on their own. Just like this, boys, Manchester United have come in with a nearly £40 million bid for Ezri Konsa. Would Konsa go to United in real life? I actually think he would. That means we now need a backup centre-back to replace Konsa. So Ezri Konsa joins Manchester United. They sign an ageing player, and we replace Ezri Konsa with 81 rated, 23-year-old Wouter Gors from AZ Alkmaar, £28 million. Fantastic young defender, really good potential. He's not as good as Konsa now, but he will be in a few seasons. But we have now arrived at the end of the transfer window, boys, and no further business has taken place, meaning this will be the Aston Villa team to take us into season 3. It is looking amazing on paper, boys. How are we going to be able to defend our Premier League crown though? There's only one way to find out, and that's by locking in the starting 11 for season 3 and simulating forward straight through to the end of the season. So we have arrived at the end of season number 3, boys. Have we defended our Premier League crown? No, we haven't, boys. We have finished 3rd in the Premier League, ultimately finishing 13 points behind eventual winners Liverpool. We've actually had a really poor season, but at least Champions League football is definitely secured for season number 4. Maybe season 2 was just a bit of a fluke. I take that back, boys, because we have only gone and won the FA Cup, beating Arsenal 4-1 in the final, adding an FA Cup trophy to our trophy cabinet. So is season 3 a successful season? 3rd place finishing an FA Cup trophy? I'd probably say so. Now, we were once again in the Champions League this season, and we did reach the quarter-final, but Real Madrid battered us 5-2 over 2 legs. Happy to get to the quarter-finals, boys. Think that's a good performance. Clear to see, though, we're still missing that little bit of quality before we can actually challenge to win the Champions League. So this is the Aston Villa team at the end of season number 3. Really strong team on paper, boys, has to be said. And it's potentially another season of thinking, where do we improve this team? Well, I'm actually going to be looking to bring another centre-back in to replace Onana. He has been an amazing player for us. He's 26-year-old, 84 rated. We're going to go and try and sign another world-class centre-back, a bit like when we signed Murillo. And as we can see, boys, Emi Martinez will start to decrease from next season. And Noah Otabulu hasn't really been growing as much as we would have liked. I think we are going to go into the transfer window and buy a first-choice goalkeeper. I'm just a little bit concerned that the goalkeeper we signed won't be realistic, because there's not actually many good goalkeepers in FC26. Now, in terms of stats this season, Liam Delap's first season as a villain was outstanding, getting 25 goals and 9 assists. Gesand and McGinn continue to be excellent players for us as well. I think our performance on the pitch this season wasn't actually too bad. It's just we've been losing stupid games. And if it weren't confirmed that we are replacing Martinez, it is now. He has suffered an injury, which means he's definitely going to start decreasing in overall. So we have arrived in season 4, lads, and check this. We have got £315 million in the bank. This has got to be the biggest ever transfer budget I've ever had in all my time playing career mode. I think we're going to come out of this transfer window looking very strong. So, boys, we have gone out into the transfer market. We have signed a centre-back and goalkeeper, and I think both signings are risky when it comes to realism, but at this stage of the rebuild, it's always going to be a struggle, but I have got my reasonings for signing both players. So the centre-back we signed was Castello Luqueba, who was playing for Marseille, and we signed him for £70 million. 85 rated centre-back, unbelievable stats, by the way. He's playing for Marseille, who were in the Europa League this season. I do think he would move to a Champions League club who have just won the Premier League and FA Cup. And in real life, he is yet to have his big move from Leipzig. So I definitely think this is a realistic signing. I know this next signing was very, very risky, but I stand by it. We have signed Diogo Costa from Napoli for £72 million. 28-year-old, 87 rated goalkeeper, amazing stats. One of the best goalkeepers in FC26. Napoli are in the Champions League alongside us. I've took a couple of things into consideration. We can offer him more money, a chance to play in the Premier League. We've just won the Premier League and FA Cup. We got further in the Champions League than Napoli last season. And then when I think to real life, Diogo Costa still plays for Porto. He hasn't had that big move yet away from there like everyone expects. So I'm going to call this signing realistic for the stage at the rebuild we are at. What do you guys think though? Let me know in the comments. Have I messed up here? So as things stand, boys, this will be the Aston Villa team to take us into season 4. This is a very, very strong team on paper, has to be said. Even the bench is looking stacked as well, boys. It is looking likely, though, that Wouter goes and Martinez will leave the club. This starting 11 is officially locked in for Season 4 as of right now. Really excited to see where we can take this team this season. And we kick off Season 4 with yet another loss in the Community Shield. I think this could be the hardest trophy to win in FC26. We were the better team against Liverpool. We did play a weakened team. We ultimately lost 2-1. And we have now arrived at the end of the transfer window, boys, and no further business has taken place. So we are now simulating forward straight through to the end of the season. We have got an amazing team on paper. How are we going to get on this season? So we have arrived at the end of season number 4, boys, and the Premier League trophy is coming back to Villa Park, boys. We have convincingly won the Premier League, finishing 6 points clear of Arsenal in second place. So our second Premier League trophy added to the trophy cabinet. Now in the FA Cup, we would reach the 5th round and lose to Sunderland 2-1. And the same could be said for the Carabao Cup, knocked out in the 4th round by Brighton. They beat us 2-0. But it's not all doom and gloom, boys, because we have actually reached the Champions League final, and it's going to be an all-English affair as we take on Man City at Old Trafford. When it comes to the league phase, boys, we finished 4th out of all the sides, winning 6 of our 8 games, which is really impressive, which meant we went straight into the round of 16, and we would beat Atletico Madrid 3-1 over 2 legs, setting up a quarter-final tie with Borussia Dortmund, who we beat 4-2 over 2 legs, before eventually taking on Real Madrid in the semi-finals, and despite losing the second leg, we won the tie 4-3 on aggregate. Man City beat Leipzig 6-0 on aggregate, set up an all-English final at Old Trafford. And this is the Aston Villa team we're going to be taking into the Champions League final, and it's one hell of a strong team on paper. And add to the fact that our bench is very, very strong as well, with loads of options in every position. I think this is the most well-rounded, best squad we have had in FC26 so far. Now, in terms of stats this season, Liam Delap was our best player, getting 35 goals and 6 assists. Wessand and Tielemans were both amazing as well. And for me, the Hall of Fame choice for this rebuild is really, really difficult. It's either going to be Tielemans or John McGinn, and I am just going to give it to Yuri Tielemans, who is 90 rated. He's been amazing every single season. Now all that's left to do, boys, is take on Man City in the Champions League final. Hopefully we can bring that trophy home. So it's Champions League final, boys. We know we're taking an amazing team into the final. How are Man City looking though? Well, they've obviously got 92 rated Erling Haaland. They've got 88 rated Phil Foden. And after that though, boys, they've got a 78 rated player in their team, a 91 rated goalkeeper, which will come in clutch. Other than Donnarumma, Foden and Haaland, I think our team is significantly better. In fact, it is significantly better. I can't lie, lads. This is a final we should be winning. Again, back to Rodgers. That's really nice play. Gonna try and pick out... That should be a goal. Oh my God, what a miss. Delap, man. What is he doing? It's a free header from 6 yard out, and it's gone out for a throw-in pretty much. Shot for City. Easy save for Costa, though. That's the first shot on target of the game. Rodgers. 1-2 with Delap. That's really nice. The two former City men linking up. And Rodgers is in, boys. This is a big chance. He's already missed one sitter.
Nope.
And he has missed another. I'm going to take him off. On Foden could be in here. Get a foot in. Saved by Costa, man. It's really trying to lock in a bit now. Been a really open start to this game, you know. Rodgers. That's it. That's it. Back across goal. That's a penalty, ref. I'm clutching at straws. And that's half time, boys. Chances for both teams, to be fair. Both goalkeepers playing well. And it is 0-0 heading into the break. Kamara wins it. McGinn. Chance. Oh, what a save by Donnarumma. Can't lie, boys. It's looking like it's going to be extra time again. That's shocking. 80 on the clock, boys. We've gone to extra time in the last 2 rebuilds. Is it going to happen again? Up to Delap. This really is the last minute of the game. Oh, it's tackled, and that's going to be full time, I think. Full time. Extra time's on the cards, boys. Struggled to create anything clear-cut in that half, to be honest. I think we were good in the first half, poor in the second, to be honest. There's going to be a sweat option again. Are we going to sweat it for 2 rebuilds in a row? We are. Delap, 1-0 to Villa, boys, in the 103rd minute. Liam Delap with a goal. And for 2 consecutive rebuilds, boys, we have had to resort to a sweaty goal to take the lead in extra time. No, this is... Do not let him score. What a block by Murillo. Clear it. That's it. Flick it on. There's the full-time whistle, boys. We have beaten Man City 1-0 in the Champions League final. It's yet another final with not many goals. I think you can just put that down to both keepers being amazing. And isn't this a sight every Aston Villa fan would love to see? John McGinn lifting the Champions League trophy. Aston Villa are the champions of Europe. And that is another rebuild successfully boxed off. So just want to say a massive thank you for watching the video, boys. If you have enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe. It does really help me out. Yeah, getting close to 10,000 subscribers. Longer rebuilds are on the way though, boys, coming from next week. I will see you then.